Going on? This is your boy Jordan JC, and I am back again. And I got a special guest in the building to talk about the Bulls Media Day. What is going on? This is my boy C Dub, man. It is an honor having you on my channel. How you feeling, boy?
Gratitude, brother. Gratitude, man. Good to see you, man.
Man,
I'm glad to be in this in the podcast with you, man, on the
yes,
ATS
sir.
report, baby. Ready to do
Yes,
this, man.
sir.
Talk
Yes, sir.
Chicago sports and Bulls, man.
Yeah. Hey, it's a fun time because NBA season is right around the corner, and we just had the Bulls Media Day not too a few days ago. At this point, and so what we want to do is just talk about the takeaways, some of the things that we see, some of the concerns we may have. What did you like? What did you not like? But we're just going to start it off with the first interviews, which obviously were the GM and the coach, Arturas and Billy, and some of the things that they said that really stood out to me, and how obviously the theme going around is for this team rather is continuity. We know that they have the same exact core with DeMar, Zach, Vooch, and of course Io, Kobe, Pat, Caruso. Those are the core members of this team that have been here, right, for this regime for a minute now. Of course, they added some really nice new pieces in Javon Carter and Torrey Craig. They have Andre Drummond back. And so this is the makings of a decent team. It's just always been about, can they get over that hump of kind of mediocre moments in the season? And so one of the things that our tourists mentioned that they want to work on is just becoming a faster team, committing to defense. Obviously, they're one of the better defensive teams, and I think they'll even be better with the dogs that they got in Torrey and Javon. Those are some dogs at their position. And then, of course, just making sure that they're better at the timely shooting, making sure that they're taking the shots and making the right shots and making the right passes and spacing on the team. So those are some of the things that stood out to me from what Arturas said. I don't know. Did you see anything? Was there anything that stood out to you from any of the interviews for the media day?
Yeah, man. Obviously, as we talk about Arturas, man, he really emphasized the idea of continuity.
Yeah.
They talked about playing faster and speeding the game up and involving more 3-point shots, less turnovers, more quality shots.
Facts.
I mean, and then Arturas had this love fest he talked about with DeMar DeRozan and how much he loved DeMar and all that. That was cool. I mean, it's good to see that, they want to continue this continuity.
Yeah.
They want to continue to grow together. That's cool. I guess the thing is, like, with the incremental changes that we made, like, is it really going to make a difference in this stacked East? Because, I mean, I don't know if they're going to.
Hey, look what I got on.
Mm.
Boston Celtics.
They nasty, and they're nasty right now.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if we're going to finish in the top 5 or 6, man. We might be in another play-in situation. It's like, are we having all this hype, just to be your 7th seed playing against Miami again or Toronto again?
Here we gonna get beat by Emo Jimmy
or Atlanta again. You know what I mean? Or are we gonna get beat like by some scrub off the bench hitting threes all over the place like Strauss did last year against us, man?
Oh my God. Don't even get me started.
I don't know. See, and that's the thing. I don't know if it even matters, what we do. I like the idea of continuity. And I like the idea. I mean, you talked about before how, if you know how a player plays, where they like the ball, they like their sweet spot, where they like to pull up at. And so, they can play with each other better. It's the same reason as to why these European teams, these teams overseas can sometimes beat the U.S. because they play years together. Whereas the U.S. just throw a bunch of players together and think, hey, we got the greatest players in the world. We're going to beat you.
Sure.
So that continuity sometimes does grow into a more solid foundation for that team. But does it matter?
Hey, now you're talking. When you brought up a good point. Is there something to be said about continuity? And I find it funny because we know that there is a thing where, if you see a great team or a team win and you kind of want to emulate what they're doing, and they become like the new thing, the new hotness. And so with Denver being the champions this past year, Arturas used to be the GM for them, and he picked Jokic. He made that team essentially that got to the championship and won. And so is there something to be said about continuity? Because even Denver kept their people. I remember vividly Jamal Murray having a conversation with the owner after they won the championship and thanking him for sticking with him. He could have got rid of him, a bunch of times, but he stuck with him, and Jamal Murray paid it off by winning that title with Jokic. They were a good 1-2 punch. And so is Arturas kind of like teaching or preaching that same thing here where, hey, don't be so quick to wanting this team to just break apart. Even though I think this is kind of the last dance in a sense for this team, because this is the third time, and I think you even mentioned DeMar before saying that this is the third time around. Maybe they do something as far as improving their season record, improving in the playoffs. For my money, I'm going to be honest. I see a successful season as this: they're either in the top seven, or the top six, I should say, so they don't have to play in the play-in, and then when they get in the playoffs, they win their first round.
So,
Anything better than that is icing on the cake. If they can get to the second round and then get eliminated, fine. Because let's just be real, they're not ready to play up against the likes of Milwaukee
no.
and Boston, at least on paper. But we'll see.
Well, hey, and Zach said on paper we all start at 0-0,
0-0.
and so on paper but you know what? You're right though. Like, I mean, like, where do you put this team at, right? Like, who's your top four teams in the East right now? I mean, we already know that Milwaukee and Boston is kind of top tier right now. But then what's after that? Who's
I'm
three?
gonna be honest with you. Toronto and Philly probably for my. Oh no, I'm sorry.
No,
Wait, whoa. I'm sorry.
okay.
Miami and Toronto. I almost missed it. You can't go against Emo Jimmy. Emo Jimmy's got something to prove.
Hey, Jimmy stole the
Tonight
show,
will
man.
be
I
the
ain't like,
night that I will fight for you.
hey,
That's
he
going
stole
around.
the show. But I don't know if Emo Jimmy and the Jimmy Bucketeers are going to be able to
The
get them.
bucket.
You know what? I think last year was an anomaly, and I'm going to tell you why. And that's because Giannis got hurt. If you remember, I think it was game 1 or 2 in that series, Giannis got hurt.
Yeah.
And because he got hurt, and I think he missed the next game after that, Miami just had all the momentum. And when you get confidence like that, and when you think you're world beaters, you can beat everybody, and that's what happened.
You're absolutely right.
Like, they're brought back down. Like, all right, you know what? We didn't get Dame. We didn't get Drew Holiday. We lost some key pieces. We lost Max Strus. We lost what's his name to the Lakers.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I'm forgetting his name too. Little shorty dude. Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
His name. But it's like, you know what? And that's the thing. It's like they losing some pieces, and it's like they already had guys that weren't technically starters on other teams playing in starter roles. It's all you got is Bam and Jimmy and a bunch of role play. So I don't know. I think Boston is still number one in my opinion until proven otherwise.
Okay. All right.
You got Drew
Boston ahead of Milwaukee. All right.
You got Drew Holiday, and you got Jaylen Brown and Tatum and Derek White. That's part of your core starting five. Now, I didn't like that they lost Robert Williams. That's a hard loss.
Portland? Yeah,
that's a hard loss. But you know what? You had to give up something to get something. You got Drew Holiday, and now you got Porzingis, and if he's anywhere close to being somewhat healthy, that team is scary, bro.
Yeah, if he gives you what he gave in New York in his earlier days, that would be icing on the cake again. The Robert Williams, him being gone to Portland, it does hurt. That actually is a nice little pairing with him and DeAndre there as big man. But man, I think those two teams are going to rival. And so when we talk about the Bulls and where they kind of sit in that landscape, I got them maybe fighting for the 5th or 6th if they remain consistent. Because again, that is what this coaching staff, everybody, the players have been preaching is that, hey, it's just about us making sure that we stay consistent. Is if everybody is healthy and if everybody improved in the offseason, then we should be better than what we were before. And one of those people that I'm looking at as an X factor is Patrick Williams. I want to talk about him for a second because Patrick Williams was drafted 4th overall. And I've been defending this dude till the cows come home. You already know I've been arguing with Pierce forever about this dude. PK from P Kids Talk NBA, and shout out to the Windy City Breeze fam, co-hosting there. Shout out to those boys. But he always been saying, no, get rid of him because he's trash. He's a bum. He's overrated. I don't think that much that he's that bad. I think that he's filling in a role right now, but I do need to see him make a jump this year as far as his production. He needs to be more confident. Don't be as passive because that's probably one of his issues is he's just too passive because you got the 3 stars on the team ahead of him and you don't want to step on toes, so he's just going to play his role. But I need to see him be a little bit more assertive. What do you think?
Yeah, and Billy talked about that a little bit in the presser. Billy Donovan was just basically saying like, whether Pat is starting or he's coming off the bench, basically he's gonna be able to fill that role, and he just wants to see him being more aggressive. If maybe he's more aggressive with a second unit, and that's why maybe him starting, maybe he come off the bench is even better for him.
Mm.
But the idea of it is that I think he obviously DeMar, he sees Zach, he sees Vooch, and he says, okay, I come in fourth, maybe fifth on that pecking order when I'm with that team.
Mm.
So he's thinking, let me just do the other things. Let me do the dirty work, but not really look to score, not really look to get his own points. And that's what I want to see Pat do. I mean, man, you get the ball in your hand, bro. Drive or try to take that shot, man. Be
Thank you.
aggressive because
Yeah.
that man, he got talent. Man, I know the pettiest man alive named Pete Kidd. Don't think too highly of him. But what I put it like this, man. I don't think he's going to be Kawhi Leonard, but I do think
No.
that he can be a starting player on a really good team, man. And
Yeah.
honestly, he could possibly be like a fringe, like a Aaron Gordon type player. I think.
I'll
You know what
take
I
it.
mean? Oh, well, I'll take that.
I'll take it. Because I
I'll
mean,
take
look at what just happened. He was probably one of the X factors in them winning. Aaron Gordon stepped up his game in the finals. He
that.
did his thing in the playoffs. I really was surprised, but again, I think that was also just the environment he was putting in around those good players like Murray and Jokic and Brown and all those boys. But I think that P. Will can, if he gives you that kind of effort, yeah. Now we're talking about him stepping up his game to another level. I agree with that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Another thing I wanted to talk about, a few more points from this from the media day. One of my favorite interviews was the newcomer Javon Carter, which I didn't even realize he's from here, and he bleeds Chicago. They asked him, "Hey man, how do you feel about your former team and what they've got going on over there with the addition of Dame in Boston?" That man said straight out, "Hey man, I wear the red and white. I'm with Chicago. I don't care nothing about what's going on over there. Stop asking me them questions, basically. Like, it's Chicago right now. Like, I'm here to win." They asked him about, what do you think about the 3-man race between you, Kobe, and Io? Do you think that that's something that you're going to be focused on? Do you want to start? The media always trying to push that on them,
yeah,
like, hey, are you going to be better than the other two? How do you feel like what do you want to do? Do you want to be on the bench? He's like, hey man, I'm here to win. So if that means I'm starting or if that means I'm coming off the bench, I'm gonna contribute to winning. That's all I care about. And you like that attitude because
yeah,
it's like, okay, it's not a me first attitude. Javon Carter got himself here off of hard work. And so he don't care about no starting because there's pivotal times where people come off the bench and they stay in the most important clutch moments because they're the ones that's bringing the team home because of
yeah.
the way they're playing on defense and offense. So I think Javon is the right type of player for this team. What you think?
Honestly, I'm excited about seeing him play, man. I watched him play a lot last year, and I
Yeah,
think he gave Zach LaVine fits. Like every time he guarded Zach, like I feel like Zach can never really get to a spot.
yeah,
Every time he frustrates you. He's an irritant, man. Like, and this is what he brings to the table, and he can hit that three. So he's a 3-and-D point guard, and
yeah,
he's going to
yeah.
fill in the role that Pat Bev left behind. And so
There you
now
go.
you got that guy who's a
Good
leader.
comparison.
He's from Chicago. Now, I disagree with him on one thing he did say. One of the guys asked him, who's the better ballers, West Side or South Side Hoopers? He said West Side.
I did see that. Come on, man. Come on, Southside all day. Come on
The
now.
West Side. Oh, you know what? I got a point. I mean, Isaiah Thomas is from the West Side,
Yeah.
but D Rose is from the South
Hey,
Side.
D Rose from the South Side.
D
That's right.
Rose, South Side.
D Rose trumps everybody. I don't care
D,
what you
D,
say.
D Rose, the GOAT, is from the South Side. Man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
So,
Hey.
you
Either
know,
way, we know Chicago brings out some good talent. That's pretty much the gist
absolutely,
of
man. Not
West
only we
Side,
got
South
good
Side,
food.
Webber Side.
Hey, look, not only do we got good food, not only do we got good Italian beefs, not only do we got good everything, man, we got some good hoopers coming
We
out of
got
the
some
shop,
good
baby.
hoopers, man.
Born
Pedigree
and bred.
strong here.
And you know what?
Hey,
And that's the thing. That's what you need, though. You need somebody who's going to be passionate. He's excited about playing here. It's a dream. He said, man, look, I could slap number 5 on my jersey. He said, man, you just don't know how much this means to me, man.
yes.
Like,
Yes.
and like you want that, bro. So he's going to push, and he's going to get guys like, who am I thinking about?
Kobe and
Io.
Io.
He'll
Yeah.
get Io to step up his game. Caruso's going to be Caruso. I ain't worried about Caruso.
Yeah.
He'll win the
Yeah. He's
motivation.
proven.
Kobe White. Kobe.
He might be the sneaky
Yeah,
X factor,
this the
whether or
year.
not he comes off the bench or not, bro. I think, and you see, he went back to his fro.
I'm gonna
He's
believe
taking
it.
it back
Look,
to his
man,
roots.
all I know is when he was in North Carolina, he was running, that fro was going behind him looking like Sonic, man. I want that. I want that. Give me. Because that speed,
Sonic.
baby, speed kills. And they all talked about running fast, like going, like getting the ball. And so not only are we trying to get the ball through Vooch a little bit better and then helping him initiate the offense a little bit better, but we're going to be going up and down the court. We got a lot of young thoroughbreds on our team. We should be running, bro. We should be running.
So. I'm glad we could segue into that too. That was one of the things Arturas mentioned is that they want to improve on being fast. Even not Jimmy, Billy mentioned that as well. They want to implement that a little bit more because I think they even tried to do that. Obviously, when Lonzo was here, they
Yeah,
wanted to play fast, and you actually saw that, man.
yeah,
And you saw how awesome they were as a team when Lonzo was pushing that ball.
yeah. He was
So
a
now they
conductor.
want to get back to that. They want to implement that again. So they're telling their players, they're even telling their older players, the vets, hey, DeMar, we need you to pick up the pace when you're coming down the court. Don't try to always go into that ISO set and slow it down. There's times for that,
Yeah,
but we need to push the pace. And so I think they're going to emphasize that more, emphasize spacing, emphasize just committing to defense more spacing for the 3-point shot. All of those things I think are going to contribute to them being way more successful this year.
yeah. No, and I think, man, look, and if we're doing that, you're gonna run a lot of teams off the court and tired. A lot of these older teams can't keep up with you, bro. And then it's like when you're doing that, and so this is another thing that I think my biggest takeaways was Vooch's press conference. I think he really set the tone for what's the hope can be for this team going forward.
Okay.
He really talked about how our team was predictable in our offense. We were predictable.
That's the
And that's
truth.
because you got ISO ball coming down. So DeMar coming down, he going between the legs, he's doing his move. Zach is over there in the corner. Maybe Zach pull up a little screen and then he pops out. Vooch is in the corner, and then you got another player in the corner and they all spread out so DeMar can go one-on-one. Or so Zach can eat and go one-on-one.
Yeah.
Or Vooch is just in the post. It's just predictable, man. Ain't no cutting, no nothing. So now we dumping the ball off of Vooch. There's a double team coming, somebody cutting, somebody's wide open. It's so many variables you can hit with. And if we're running our offense like that, that's efficient and being able to just have multiple things going on. So defense can't rest on their laurels of just guarding a man on man. We like Denver, because that's how Denver play.
Yeah.
That's what they need to be doing. We need to be like Denver. We don't have
Jokic, yeah.
In the league, but hey, Vooch is one of the top 5 centers in the league, bro.
Vooch can pass, Vooch can shoot, he can do some of the things that Jokic can do on to a certain extent, right?
Except for dribbling. He can't dribble like Jokic, but he can do everything else, in my opinion.
He can do everything else. I agree with you that he is one of the top 5 centers in the league all around, especially on the offensive side of the ball. He's very efficient from all over the floor. So, yeah, I'm with you on that. I think that's one of the things they need to improve in is going through him and staying that way, because you've seen games where they've done that and then they go away from it, like you mentioned, because DeMar needs to get his, or he's ISO ball, or he's trying to save us, or Zach is, trying to do some last-second heroic stuff and athletic stuff, and then they just forget to go back to that thing that was working. Just like Kendall Gill has always said, like Stacey has always said, it's a simple game. Feed it to your big man. Feed them often. Feed them every doggone time you can, as much as possible. Gotta eat. And so, hey, I'm with you. I think that's one of the keys to success. I think this was a pretty obvious media day, and some of the things that were said were obvious. You kind of knew that they were going to mention that continuity was part of what they're going to do, because you see this team is pretty much the same, with some like you said, some few kind of like outskirt pieces brought in, but we're going to see if they've taken a leap. Again, we hope that this is a successful season. It's definitely going to be fun because the East has gotten way better with all the additional pieces. With Milwaukee and Boston right here, they be a beast.
Hey, basketball's back, baby. Listen, I love football. Back. Football's my heart, but basketball's my heart and soul, man. And it's like, listen, baby, ain't nothing better than hearing that from Chicago. And now. Come on,
say it, Calvin.
Man, put it in my soul, man. Put it in my bones.
Put it in my veins.
Just give it to me. I just want to see Bulls basketball back, baby. Yeah. And I want to see us win. And I think we can compete 45 wins on a season.
Hey, 45 or more. You heard it here first, everybody. Hey, man, shout out to C-Dub for coming through on my channel, ATS Report, man, showing some love, showing some support, and giving some very, very good knowledge on what we both think is some takeaways from Media Day. We think this team could do something, maybe not go all the way, but obviously improve, and we want to see some improvement from the team. How do you guys feel? Do you think there's something to be said about continuity? Do you think that they could have just gone out and maybe fended for a person like Dame Lillard a little bit more? Should they have been in the running for Drew Holiday a little bit more? I think word was they were, but obviously they didn't get them. So we're going to see how this season fares. But until then, man, we're just going to have fun. Looking forward to this beginning of the season. And until the next time, we will both see you all on the ATS Report.